God intervenes. Even when you don't see him, even when you don't feel it, he is there. He is there. I grew up in a small town, and I was always taught from my parents about charity. They were philanthropists. They did for many people. And I grew up to become a nurse, and I did give myself to Christ when I was 17 years old. My brother and I went to a church, and we both got saved, and he passed away suddenly. He had cancer. And I turned my back on God. I was mad at him. I couldn't understand how somebody who had such a calling could have been taken away from us. He was such a stabilizing factor in our lives. So it took about 40 years, and along the way, I developed epilepsy as a child, and I didn't know that I had it. And as I got older, I started having more and more seizures, and then the doctors gave me more and more medications to help counteract those seizures. It didn't help, and I lost myself. I was spiritually poor, mentally poor, emotionally poor. There were all those things, and I kept getting farther and farther away from God. And until about 3 years ago, I had decided to take a cleanse. And when the cleanse was over, it incapacitated me to the point where I couldn't respond to the doctors and tell them, oh, I took a cleanse. They told me that they would be discharging me to a nursing home for the rest of my life. My brother-in-law and my sister, Paula, came to my rescue. They said, you know, you're not going to spend the rest of your life in a nursing home. We're going to move you to Arizona with us. I've been here for 3 years, and Paula and I drove around the neighborhood. We looked at things, and she saw a sign for Boulder Mountain Church. She said, you know, I think we need to go there. And we automatically felt welcomed, and it felt comfortable for us that the sermons really resonated with us. And then right after that, I had an appointment at the doctor's office, and a girl came up to me and said, God sent me over to you to pray for you. I said, me? You're praying for me? She said, yes, God sent me to you. She was healed from a brain tumor previously from someone praying for her, and she wanted to pray for me. A month later, I had my last seizure, and I'm down to 6 pills a day instead of 22. And I'm completely off the mood stabilizer, and I started the Celebrate Recovery. I didn't know what to expect, really, but CR is a 12-step program that helps you with hurts, hang-ups, and habits that develop from those hurts. You know, that's what I was struggling with the most, was like these feelings, mixed emotions. What am I going to do with all these things that are now coming to the surface? But I stuck with it, and I have to attribute that to God too, because He made a way for me to get there every single week. I look back on all of this now and I think how God rescued me from my hole. I was in the deepest, darkest hole there ever was. And it progressed very slowly, but each time I look back, I see where He saved me. And I've just grown closer and closer to God over the last year. Jesus means everything to me. He is my Savior. He took me out of the hole. He rescued me, and He wants me to tell the story. And that's what I'm doing.